morning and welcome back to Football League World TV. It is Friday morning and it's time for the EFL betting show here on the channel. It is a reduced fixture list this weekend. It is, of course, the international break, but I am joined by Ned Holmes and he's going to run through all of his best selections for this weekend's EFL action. Ned, how are we this morning, mate?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. It's obviously the international break, but it's been a particularly eventful one in the EFL so far, particularly with some managers moving. And I predicted it would be Steve Bruce to go first last week in my wildcard, but that obviously hasn't happened. But hopefully have a bit more joy today, as we were talking before we went live. Perhaps a more challenging this week to really try and pick out the value, but I do think there's value there, so I can't wait to get stuck in.
Good stuff. Like you say, it has been a very busy week in the EFL. Lots of managers coming and going over the last few weeks. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube, so get yourself in the comments. Have you got any bets on this weekend? Have you got any accumulators that we need to hear about? Please do let us know. Just a reminder, please do gamble responsibly. 18 and over. If you haven't watched this EFL betting show before, we run through 4 different selections. Ned will select a banker, an accumulator, a value bet, and a wild card. As we always do, let's start off with the banker. Okay, Ned, who is your banker this weekend in the EFL?
Well, this week for my banker, I've gone Bradford to beat Wimbledon at 5-6. So £5 returns, £9.16 on Bet365. Just think Mark Hughes' side have built up a real head of steam in recent weeks. 4 wins on the bounce in all competitions, and I think we marvelled really, but ahead of the deadline at why Hughes seemed to keep. Seem to keep sort of stacking that squad, and I think we're starting to see the results of that in recent weeks. Just a frightening amount of depth, really, particularly in attacking areas. Unfortunately for the Dons, same can't be said for them. Their only wins this season have come against 2 of the worst teams in League Two, in Crawley and Gillingham. They look a little bit lost at the moment. I don't think Johnny Jackson will be particularly pleased with how the early weeks of his tenure have gone, and a trip to Valley Parade then is really not what they need. Bradford have won all 3 of their last home games. The Dons have lost 3 of their last 5 on the road. For me, everything points to a Bradford win in this one, and so that's why it's my banker at 5-6. I think it represents excellent value as well.
Yeah, Bradford have been very strong at home this season. Haven't lost at Valley Parade so far this term. 3 wins and 2 draws for Mark Hughes' side. As you've already said, AFC Wimbledon on a dodgy run of form, 4 defeats in a row in League Two. There we go. Ned opting for Bradford City as his banker this weekend at 5-6. Let us know your bankers for this weekend. Who can you not see losing? We'd love to get your thoughts in the comments. Right, let's touch on the accumulator next. Right, what is your accumulator, Ned?
So we're obviously starting with the banker Bradford to beat Wimbledon. And that's part of a League Two treble for me this week that comes in at 6.25 to 1. So £5 returns £38 and 9 pence on Bet365 with their ACCA booster. Northampton to beat Stockport is my second one. I just think Stockport haven't really made the blistering start to the season that many have predicted after obviously their promotion from the National League last term. And Saturday's game against Northampton looks a really tough test. The Cobblers have lost just once at home all season. They've got all the momentum heading into this one after their recent run. 3 wins on the bounce. And even John Brady's links to the Huddersfield job aren't enough, in my opinion, to stop Northampton coming away with a win here. So that's Northampton to beat Stockport. And then Stevenage to beat Harrogate Town. We talked an awful lot about Stevenage on Football League World TV this season. I think Steve Clark's side have been picked in the where they've been picked on the betting show a lot, and for good reason. I think they've been really impressive, and I actually think the 3-0 defeat to Bradford, that might put some people off a little just by looking at the scoreline, but the game was completely different. That wasn't reflective of how the game played out. And as we sort of touched upon at the start of the show, Bradford likely to be one of the strongest teams in League Two this season. So I see no reason why they shouldn't be able to bounce back here. And against a Harrogate side that I think a little bit in free fall right now. They've lost 5 of their last 6, and a draw last weekend sort of stopped the rot a little bit. But I don't think that's enough to sort of help them stop Stevenage this weekend. So I've got Bradford to beat Wimbledon, Northampton to beat Stockport, Stevenage to beat Harrogate Town, 3-fold at 6.25 to 1. £5 returns £38.09.
Some nice returns there for a home treble. All 3 teams there playing at home this weekend in League Two. Let us know your thoughts on Ned's accumulator for this weekend. Right, we're going to move on to the value bet next. Ned, have you found any value this weekend?
Well, I'll be honest. I wanted to put Bradford to beat Wimbledon in here. I mean, at 5 to 6, I just think that looks fantastic value. You're getting nearly evens on a game that I think really looks likely only to go one way. But I've gone for something a bit more exciting. I've gone for Wickham to win away at Sheffield Wednesday at 5 to 1. This is one of those ones where I'm not hugely confident in it, but I think at 5 to 1 is perhaps worth a little punt this weekend, because I think it's easy to look at the way the two sides have started the season and where they are in the table and suggest that this is an easy Wednesday win at home. But I actually think the Owls have been a little bit underwhelming at Hillsborough this season. Wickham have obviously started the new campaign sluggishly, you'd say, after that playoff final defeat. But Gareth Ainsworth's side, I think, for me, look to be returning to their usual selves in recent games. They've started to make things really difficult for opposition teams again. And I think they could make things really, really difficult for Darren Moore's side at Hillsborough on Saturday. They travelled to Hillsborough. And as I said, Wednesday, not hugely convincing. They were beaten there by Burton in midweek at a 3-2 defeat. And Barnsley a few weeks ago, 2-0 that time. It's hardly been a fortress. I don't think they've been hugely convincing at Hillsborough. And in my eyes, I wouldn't see it as a huge shock if Wickham were to nick something here. And that makes 5 to 1 odds fantastic value, really. And so for me, this one could be worth a couple of quid.
Yeah, Wickham Wanderers certainly no mugs in this division. It hasn't been the best start for Gareth Ainsworth's side. But like you say, Wednesday haven't won in their last 2 home League One games. Obviously, that defeat to Barnsley a few weeks ago, a standout result in particular. There we go. Ned opting for Wickham Wanderers as his value bet, 5 to 1 to get a result at Hillsborough on Saturday. Let us know your thoughts on the bets that Ned has showcased so far. Have you got any on? We do want to hear from you. Just another reminder, please do gamble responsibly, 18 and over. Right, let's look at our final selection next, the wildcard. What's your wildcard this weekend, Ned?
My wildcard is Sam Hoskins and Andy Cook to score any time. Goal scorer double at 6.818 to 1, so £5 returns £35.93. As we've discussed previously, I'm big on Bradford and Northampton this week. I think they should get some real joy this weekend, and a little anytime score a double should help me capitalise on that, and hopefully anyone watching as well. Andy Cook scoring for fun right now, 8 in his last 6 games for Northampton, a bit of a ridiculous record that, and he's not likely to be short of chances against the Wimbledon side that haven't kept a clean sheet since the 6th of August. I think there looks to be goals in that game, and if there's goals in a Bradford game, you'd think Andy Cook will be amongst the goal scorers. And then Sam Hoskins, Northampton, as I've said, for me, look really, really heavy favourites against Stockport. And Sam Hoskins is the top scorer in the division. He's in double figures already. He looked in fine form in the win against Rochdale, bagging a brace, and he'll certainly fancy his chances of a goal against Stockport. And those two, I just see these two as having a fantastic chance of finding the net this week. And that's why a little anytime double at 6.81 to 1 and £5 returning £35 at 93 looks like an interesting bet to me.
Massive fan of that myself. I will be getting on that this weekend. You've inspired me, Ned. I've got to say. There we go. Hoskins and Andy Cook. Anytime goal scorers this weekend in League Two at just over 6 to 1. I think that's got some serious potential and value. There we go. Let us know your thoughts on Ned's selections during this show. We want to hear your thoughts. What bets have you got on, if you've got any on? It is, of course, a reduced schedule this weekend. Less to pick from, but there is still value to be had. All right, well, that brings an end to the EFL betting show this morning. Quite a quick one for you this morning. As I've already said, it is a reduced schedule this weekend. That is it from Football League World TV for this week. We will have plenty of live shows coming up for you next week. We're going to look to get lots of fans involved. If you are keen on coming on to Football League World TV, please do let us know via Twitter at Football League W. We'd love to get you on the show if you're keen to share your thoughts. We want to get as many fans on this platform as possible over the next few weeks. But from myself and Ned, we hope everyone has a great weekend. Good luck with all of your bets. And just a final reminder, please do gamble responsibly. 18 and over.